He's
It's hot
sweating a
down
little
here.
bit.
I got the tie, the jacket. I got Jewel. I got Betsy. I got these ladies here. You know.
And Jeff's doing a strip show.
I don't want to see that. Don't say that.
She's got her whole family. It's a family show, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh Lord.
Let's get into let's get a little bit of your background and your career. What got you into comedy? I mean, when did you first realize that you were just a funny person and comedy was going to be your route?
You know, I grew up watching the show Mama's Family, and since
I
I was
love
a
that
kid,
show.
I thought, isn't it the greatest? For me, people make fun of me. It was the greatest show of all time. It really, I thought it was so brilliant. Like, it was the characters were just to die. Everyone was a character on the show. It was great. They don't make TV like that anymore.
No.
But they really, so I wanted to be Mama, and I was like, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be these characters. So I came out here to get into acting, and my first class, the acting teacher was like, yeah, you know, you're a comedian, so I think you should just do stand-up. And
Wow.
go that route.
Wow.
And yeah, I try stand-up on and off, but you know, I create my own stuff, and I put content out. It's just, it's a lot of work all the time, so I started doing comedy, and then I took a break for a long time because I had a family, tragedy happen, and couldn't get on stage, but then I came back to it, and I was like, I'm coming back, and I came back, and now I'm booking a ton of rooms and living the comedy life, and it's fun, and I'm just created a new sketch that I'm really excited about. I have about 8 episodes shot. They're like a minute each, but they're called That Girl.
Very cool.
And
that's going to be that's going to be on your Instagram,
what?
correct?
Yeah, it's going to be my new Instagram sketch, That Girl.
Awesome. We're going to give out we're going to give out the address before you leave.
Oh yeah, Bling and Betsy.
I love that.
Yeah. You
so
guys
what's it about?
You'll get a kick out of them because girls can relate. You're either that girl or you know that girl, and every guy knows that girl.
Excellent.
That's why it's so relatable, and like I love all your characters. Like, I mean, you play a fantastic drunk girl, even though as girls who drink, we can kind of just put ourselves in that place. But your Teresa Caputo is like hilarious. I had to show my family. I'm like, this is before you even said anything. I'm like, do you understand that? Like, do you understand? And you're like screaming. So it was great.
I'm in love with her, Teresa Caputo. She's my idol.
I think you guys need to meet. It's on point.
Oh my gosh, my friend called me. She said, Betsy, you're going to die. Teresa Caputo's coming to LA to do a reading in like this theater. She's like, I'm taking you. I got tickets. I said, oh God. I get obsessed with certain people and I want to be them. And I have to become like my stepdad. Sometimes I just put on his vest and hat and I become him for half the day.
I love stepdad. I did that with my family.
Yeah, it's fun, right? I've become my sisters. I imitate everyone, and I tell people, if I imitate you to your face and I become you all the time, please take it as a compliment. I am obsessed with you.
Absolutely. Like, they should take it as a compliment. And you do so many great skits and everything. Did you ever think about Saturday Night Live or going that, like, New York route?
You know what? I would totally love to do something like that. I just have never. I met years ago with an agent that repped Julia Sweeney, who did Pat.
Okay.
And I remember it was such a long time ago, and it was probably before, like, when reality was really having a big boom. And I was like, I really want to get an audition for Saturday Night Live. And he crushed every dream. He's like, yeah, pretty girls aren't funny. I was like, oh, really?
Wow. Well,
I
he
mean,
said you're pretty. I mean,
yeah, I mean, he's like, you would never make it on that show. Like, you just can't.
Wow.
But look how many pretty girls are on Saturday Night Live. Look how many pretty Like, it's just not. It's different today because the characters are the reality people, and they're all hot.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. And you're so like versatile, like especially with makeup and everything today. Like, dude, you could play any character and fit right into that slot. Like, if you got it, you got it. Like, there's pretty girls in Saturday Night Live. There's some not so pretty girls, but there's definitely is very attractive comedians across the board. So that's bullshit. That's just sexist.
I know.
I don't like that.
It totally. You know what? It's so weird. It's like it's such a, one day you're not okay for this, the next day it's just weird. But I'll tell you what, the way the world is today with Instagram and social media, you don't even have. You could be, the biggest person on Instagram and making more money than people on TV shows. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So I love to create and I write and I'll have another web series coming out shortly, Alice in La La Land.
Nice.
Alice in Wonderland, but what happens when she gets stuck in La La Land?
Nice. I get a feeling there's going to be a traffic scene mixed into there somewhere.
Right.
So, I got to ask, I ask this every time we have a comedian on, I'm always curious. What was your first gig and how did it go? Because you always hear horror stories about that first gig.
It's actually really funny. A friend of mine in an improv class had me do stand-up with him. He's such a nice guy, and he's like, you need to come try it. Meet me here. So I met him. I was shaken so bad and so nervous. I don't remember what I said, but I just started telling stories about growing up, and I had comics come up to me and say, I want to write for you. Like, you're so different.
Please.
I was like, oh my God. So I met with all these comics and, they were like, talk more about this and keep doing this. Character's really funny of your mom. And that's pretty much how it happened. And that's like, you get in, you start to meet people start booking you in all these rooms, and it becomes such a small world.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely. Do you have any did you ever have any hecklers, or how do you deal with tough rooms, as you would say?
Yes. You know what? I when I first started, I would have a heckler, just a girl, be just a nasty, oh my God, or say something. And I remember when I first started, I did not know, I don't want to be mean because my job. It's not to be nasty, and if you're that way, it doesn't make two wrongs a right. I just don't want to be a nasty person. So I'll just say something back in a nice way, excuse me, I'm talking over here, thanks, But one of my girlfriends just called me, and she had another comic drunk out heckler, and I thought, oh wow, I mean, it's just yikes. And she's like, people, I couldn't believe it. I feel like especially women hecklers. When women are doing something, we should be so supportive because, we're in this greatest moment of time right now.
Yeah.
And we need to really be supportive, but it's you have, guys, I don't know that they heckle as much, but I do see, and even if I'm at a show just hanging out with people, I see girls heckle guy comics too, and I'm like, but sometimes it's just because we can't shut up,
They're sitting there drunk, yeah, you're funny.
And I've seen girls start having conversations or trying to, and they're like, okay, and goodbye,
Jesus.
But
I would be the worst heckler because I would go to your show and I'd be like, that wasn't funny, but you're hot. See, that's not a heckle.
Oh, that's rude, though, too. Don't interrupt the
I would
comic.
be like, I'll take it. I will take it.
So let me ask you about you got another project that I saw that's premiering in November called The Fallen. Now this doesn't look like comedy. This looks a little different. Tell us about this.
Yes. So this I don't know when this we have not shot the pilot. It's a guy created it in Atlanta. He's like a brilliant actor, John Capp, and he's been on a ton of shows. He wrote and directed his own film called Sloth. And then he wrote and wants to produce The Fallen. And he has it all casted, has all pre-production set up, but he has booked a lot of stuff. So for him to clear his schedule is, I think, what's the holdup. But, yeah, it will be a really good show. And, no, it is not. It's not comedy.
Okay. It didn't look like it from the lead-in.
Yeah, I do other stuff. You'll see me, like, I do a lot of commercials, and, like, I did a Swiffer dancing commercial, like, beer commercial, funny commercials and stuff. But I do, drama acting as well. I love comedy. It is my life. Like, when I write, I mostly write comedy, but I love, like, Lifetime movies. Come on. I would be, like, dying for that. Let's get on.
So you mentioned beer commercial, and I got to ask because we're big beer enthusiasts here, and I seen you in a picture licking a can of Pabst Blue Ribbon. Now, is that because they're paying you, or are you a Pabst Blue Ribbon? Okay, because that stuff doesn't go over very well here in Philly.
They're not paying me.
No? Oh, man. I was going to say, if they're paying the bills, I would pay them.
Either just highlight. You should.
Yeah, they should be paying me. But you know why I'm licking the can of Pabst is because my stepdad used to drink Pabst. When he moved here, he started drinking Pabst only. So now it's like, it represents my family. I feel like Pabst.
Okay.
That's so funny because I love High Life too, and everyone calls that like an old man beer. I'm like, I love Miller High Life so much, and I don't know. I just feel like it's classic. It's beer, and it doesn't get skunked. So I'm with you on the Pabst.
Yeah, I don't think you need a designer beer. I just love beer.
Right. Thank you.
Oh, you got a home here. We're loving you.
I know. I am such a beer drinker. It's so funny. I started drinking wine when I got to L.A. I know nothing about wine still. I drink it, but I definitely love beer.
See, my cousin is in L.A. She's an actress as well, and I guess she's on the champagne diet because that's what actors drink, or so I heard, because it's the least calories. Do you find that out there?
Oh, my God. That's hilarious. I would just think girls, that's so funny. I would think girls here would drink champagne because it's the most expensive thing on the menu, and they want to test how much money the guy has. I don't know.
Who knows? Beer's really good, though. I'm with you. So I wanted to ask you, is there any, like, dream role you have, or any actors or comedians you're like dying to work with someday, or any thing in the future you're looking at right now?
I do have a lot of favorite comics. Like, Lisa Lampanelli is one of my favorite comics ever in the world of comedy. Isn't she great?
She is. She's funny as hell. She really is.
Queen of raunch.
The brilliance. She's dirty, but my God, she's so brilliant. She would be someone I would just like die to work with. I just think she's so funny. Just my God. But let's see. I couldn't think of anyone off the top of my head. I'll tell you what. There's a comic, and his name's Eric Myers. He's really funny.
Cool.
And he's here in LA and up and coming. I'm sure he's about to blow up. He's one of the most hilarious comics. I don't even know. He's so funny. I'm actually doing a show with him at the Ha Ha this Monday coming up.
Awesome.
And he's just so funny. Yeah. Haha Comedy Club. Did you ask where? Or
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
plug it away. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
it's in North Hollywood.
That's okay. You can still
no,
plug it though. We got listeners
comedy.
from all over.
Tell us what time. We got LA listeners.
It's in North Hollywood. He's so funny, and I'm really excited to do the show with him. Yeah, I can't because he's hysterical. He's actually one of my favorite comics right now, and he's It's just so funny. I just saw the flyer, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Awesome.
But yeah, there are so many comics, and everybody's so funny. You know, I mean, there are a lot of really funny comics today.
Absolutely.
Out
That's pretty
there
awesome.
right now.
The question I have, and because I'm the guy that goes to the parties and tells the jokes, and I'm the silly guy, and I'm always making people laugh. Now, when you're at a show and you're watching other comedians, two things: do you sit there and say, "Hey, that's my joke they're using," or I say something similar, or do you pick up things like, "Hey, that's pretty funny. I think I'll spin on that." What do you pick up from other comedians?
You know, that's interesting. I've had that happen to me a lot, actually, lately, and it kind of bummed me out where I was doing a show with comics, and one in particular that's a bigger comic than me, and she took the essence of the character of my mom. I mean, I'd seen her do comedy because we'd done like 3 rooms before. She commented on my comedy on stage and started saying how hers was so opposite, and then all of a sudden her character became mine at the next show that I saw her at. And I thought, interesting.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah, but I mean, look, it's like, you just, like my friend said to me, and my friend is a very, veteran comic, just keep writing, I mean, it's going to happen. But,
yeah,
sure.
I feel like people get on stage and you see a comic go and you get on and you might comment on his comedy, like, make a comment about something about him or give it up for him, God, he's hilarious or whatever. But I couldn't riff on, because I just don't feel right about it. I would never take someone's material,
Yeah.
And that's like the number one comedy no, right? It's like stealing jokes.
Yeah. I mean, I could tell you now, a lot of people go, I can make that better,
right?
Or like living it on. But I mean, I feel like they get on, they kill, you get on. Be you, be real, be who you are, and do you. But I mean, I think it's like what you're asking is like, when you're at a party and we're all hanging out and I make a joke and you riff off that joke and then I riff back, or I mean, I think comics do get on stage and do that, riff on each other a little bit after. Mm-hmm. I think that's totally fine, but I think like going as far as like rewriting someone's set, or
Yeah. Well, going off of that, is there any topics like right now that you won't even touch because it's too like, I mean, people are sensitive these days, so it's like, oh, do I go there? Do I not?
I will tell you, my comedy is a lot different than most people, because my comedy really is mostly characters and about, so personal to my life, and it's written that, I mean, I think people talk about not having kids, but I don't really talk about that. I just talk about, like, I have a joke about, like my joke. It's just very, I feel like, different than most people come across. But there are the topics that most people are talking about is Bumble, Tinder, dating, Vibrate. Like, I don't go there. My comedy's just different. It's like growing up, school, like, life, and just like really characters of my family and like the situations we're in, stories, stuff like that. It's not. So I feel like if you book me in your show, I'm probably going to be different than probably any girl here.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. The way to be. It's funny though. We talk about they say you talk about doing it at parties and family oriented comedy. And at family functions, it was always, they used to ask me, imitate Uncle Bill, imitate this guy, that guy. Mm-hmm. And my parents would laugh up until I dropped my first F-bomb, and then my mom said, "You're not funny." Once the profanity comes out, I'm not funny anymore. You know, I'd be laughing for a half hour. I'd say one F, and my mom's like, "That's not funny. You're done. You're not
That's
funny."
enough. You're done.
That's so. You know, actually, people in comedy clubs might feel very different.
I'm sure.
My mom drops more F-bombs than anyone in the world. Okay.
No, mine did too. That's what used to amaze me. She used to get mad. Me on the ride home, Tom, F, 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 F. Like a minute ago, that wasn't funny. Now it's like the greatest word she's ever heard. So,
oh my God.
So what are like the ideal career goals? Like, would you want to be a movie star? Do you want to kind of stick with writing, producing? Do you like stand up? What would be like your ultimate job right now? Like, if you had to put yourself in one category for the rest of your career, where would it be?
You know, for the rest of my career, I always have to do stand up. I love stand up, but my main goal is just writing and selling TV shows. Like, I really want to write and sell my show ideas, and I think I'm just at the point where I'm going to shoot a sizzle with a guy on one of them, and it's such a funny, good idea, and I've written the pilot, and he's going to help me pitch it. So, I mean, we'll see,
Wow.
but that is, yeah, I mean, I've written three TV shows now, so I really want to get out and pitch them. So that is my ultimate goal, is like writing, producing, but mostly like writing. Like I love acting, and trust me, it's great. I love it. But I really love creating.
That's awesome. And I feel like they're two totally different animals, because my cousin actress is also like an amazing writer, and it's just two like extraordinary gifts that people can have, and it amazes me that people have both, but you definitely do. And I'm definitely going to follow your career. I think you're freaking hilarious, and we wish you nothing but the best.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, I want to grab
Thank
like a chat with you sometime. Can you come to the East Coast, please?
Yeah, definitely come
Oh
to the
my
East Coast.
gosh, yes. I would love it. You know what? If I literally will reach out to you guys when I'm on the East Coast. I am coming. You know, I'm the biggest animal activist ever, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to the Humane Society Gala in New York. It's the Humane Society is so amazing what they do for animals. And I'm going to go to the gala November 9th, and if I could get time, I could take a train, and we could all go drink.
Oh, my God. That
That'd
would be
awesome.
like incredible. And, I mean, the Tuyas, like, I'd walk in the bar with the Tuyas, and the guys would be like, hey, look at these girls. And then you'd have everybody laughing, falling off bar stools. I'd be like the king of the show.
Something like that.
I got to sell myself there somehow. But I'm getting, it's funny, I'm getting random texts and random messages on my phone. Everybody says how great this episode is and how attractive you are and how funny you are. So it's great. I mean, we're loving having you. This is outstanding. I took a shot. I saw her on Instagram. I said, I would love to have her on the show. She is our kind of people. So I can't help but, I can't thank you enough.
Oh, my God, I can't thank you guys enough. It's been so much fun talking to you guys. Listen, I wish we could do this every day. Hey!
Hey, why not? Maybe once a month. And one of these times we're going to talk about your big television show that made it big. I can't wait for that.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh, I cannot wait. Listen, if it doesn't make it to TV, it's going to make it on my Instagram. Don't worry.
There you go.
Do it for the gram, girl. Do it for the gram.
And if you're
Bingo.
shooting in Philly and need like a short, like shaved head guy that's really quirky, I've got somebody for you.
I love it. Yes. Cameo.
I love it.
100%. I love it.
So I'm going to give everybody some information here. Instagram and Twitter, the handle is both the same. It's Blingin' Betsy, BLINGIN Betsy. Blingin' Betsy on Twitter and on Instagram. Get on Instagram because this is where all the good stuff happens. Even like the sexy pictures in a bikini with the Coca-Cola or the Pabst Blue Ribbon and some great skits.
Yep.
Or just Betsy Cox on Facebook. Do it. It's worthwhile, hilarious. It's worth following. Betsy, from the bottom of our hearts here, this is our first episode of this new program. You're our first guest on it, and we love you. Thank you so much for coming on. Would you like to do it again sometime?
Absolutely. Y'all are awesome. And I better meet y'all in person. I'm serious. And yes, I will do it anytime.
Oh,
awesome.
Thank you so
All
much.
Right.
So much
Enjoy
fun.
your time with your family. And thank your family for letting you have this time with us. We took you away for about a solid half hour, which we normally don't go that long. We were so good we didn't want to let you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Betsy. Have a great evening.
Y'all too. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was awesome. Comedian Betsy Cox, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm telling you, I'm going to give it to you again. Blingin' Betsy, Blingin' Betsy. Blingin' Betsy, both on Twitter and on Instagram, or Betsy Cox on Facebook. Find her on Instagram. She's hilarious. Her skits are great. She's on YouTube. Jewel, do you remember the YouTube page? You said you're on YouTube and found her.
Yeah, just search Betsy Cox, and she's number one because she is number one. She's friggin' fantastic. I love her.
I know she had a program name, and I'm embarrassed I kind of forgot it. But, yeah, find her on YouTube, too. She's hilarious. She's beautiful. She's got it all. She's such a package that she writes. She's smart. She's got the accent. Everything. It's great. I had such a great time. That was terrific. And, that's what we do here. We love having guests, being down to earth, and that was perfect. It's in the car, driving along with the family.
The sketch is That Girl, and it's going to be on our Instagram this week, so you got to check that out. Check her out. I mean, she's beautiful. She's hilarious. Like, whatever. What else could you want? I mean, she's the whole package. And
she's got like 27 or 28,000 followers or something. Which there should be a lot more because it's really great. I like the one where she's got the red one-piece swimsuit on and it says like hot mess, HAUTE mess. Did you see that one? It's freaking hilarious. Really great.
I bet
she's
you
great.
Did
Oh my god. I like that strictly for the comedy. I actually had a question about her looks playing into the comedy thing, but she kind of knocked that out. And she kind of answered that midstream anyway. So, I mean, why not?
That's rough.
Yeah, she said, like, you're good looking, you can't be funny. Look at me, I'm gorgeous and hilarious. That doesn't work.
You know what? That just feeds into the whole, but this whole movement and this Me Too, I mean, it's still happening, like, whether you want to admit it, but it's still going strong, too. And women, especially, are definitely speaking out about it. So it's like, I can't believe that shit's still being said. Like, it's like the rules don't apply out there, especially.
Exactly,
and Hollywood.
And I gotta agree. And I mean, it sounds a little sexist, but it's really not. It's more or less like a appeal. If I'm at a comic club, she comes on stage. Yeah, I'm a little more intrigued because she's attractive. I definitely want to hear what she says. And then once I hear how funny she is, I'm locked in. So it's not like she had mentioned Lisa Lampanelli. Now,
right.
Come on now, nobody wants to look at that. She's not attractive. But she's funny as hell. So.
She gets some men if you ever heard her. So.
Well, she pretty much advertises this like suck a golf ball through a garden hose. So I guess so. I guess guys want to check that out and see if it's possible.
She is raunchy. But no, you know what that made me think of while you're thinking it's not sexist? You know that they used to say that Zach, I'm going to mess up his last name, Galifianakis. I saw him live.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him live. He's hilarious. He's always like the chubby dude. I saw this comedian that said, Zach was good looking. And, like, it's like when he got chubby, people thought he was funnier. What the hell is that?
I mean, but you hear that a lot. Like Chris Farley, John Belushi. I was a huge Chris Farley fan, and me and some of my friends said, if he was skinny, this stuff really wouldn't be that funny.
I don't think so, because, I don't know. Like, I was just going to watch this the other day, but, like, Brad Pitt in Burn After Reading, like, he's, like, all funny and goofy and jumping around. Like, Brad Pitt is freaking funny, and Brad Pitt's, like, the hottest, sexiest man alive or whatever. So,
second hottest.
Okay. Excuse me. Sorry.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I know I took the suit jacket off and all, but I'm still looking pretty good.
funny is funny.
Funny is funny. And like I said, the looks and the fat thing doesn't work. Chris Rock's probably one of the funniest guys alive, and he's skinny as a rail.
It's bullshit. Chris Rock's weird looking, though.
He's a little weird looking. Especially when he delivers his punchlines. You get that face. You know you did it. Just admit it. He's got that horrible look on him.
That's very good.
Thank you very much. So, you talked about the, obviously the female movement, the sexism, all that. I got a question, and I don't want to come off on the wrong side of this. Keep in mind here at the show and the Super Radio Network and all that, we're very open-minded, and we're not political. We don't bash. We don't come down on people. But the women and the sexual assault case, obviously it's hot again now with this possible Judge Kavanaugh thing. But women are waiting 30 years to talk about sexual assault. And Alyssa Milano came out and bashed President Trump for his choice and says, I never talked about it, but 30 years ago I was sexually assaulted. Why do you think, being a woman, why do you think women bottle this up, or do you think they have to bottle it up? And why, after 30 years, do you feel coming out with it's going to change things? Explain it if you could, from a woman's point of view.
I mean, I totally get it on every front. Being a woman, maybe coming up as an Irish, Italian, Roman Catholic girl who was told to maybe hide some things that they should be talking about, like personal things or feelings or happenings. Like Alyssa Milano, and I had to read this for myself because I didn't know where the hell it came from. I mean, I just saw this past week, Sally Field was coming out about stuff that happened to her when she was a child that was never brought up. But, the woman's in her 70s. She looks awesome, by the way. And
absolutely.
Yeah, and she was talking to someone, and she's like, you know what? We were just told our whole lives to, stifle it. And you see what happens, with this Kavanaugh thing. Immediately, no matter who's right, who's wrong, she's not believed. She's getting death threats. People are hating on her for this thing that happened in the 80s. But what Alyssa Milano is basically saying, she took years to even tell her closest friends. It took decades to bring it to her parents, which I understand that. And then it took 30 years to bring it to the public because, women are just coming out in force and doing this thing and just saying, you know what, me freaking too. You know what I mean? I've been there and I know what it's like being a woman, being a young girl, and people saying, shut up, your opinion doesn't matter, you're not right, you did whatever, you brought this on yourself. So, I give it to her. She's just calling out. People have the right to have an opinion, and she's just, she's just bringing it forward. So, I support it. It takes detective work to get to the nitty-gritty, the details and this and that, but just that people are, women especially, are speaking up, speaking out, and not being ashamed anymore. And this weight, this 30-year burden has been lifted off their shoulders. I can relate to that. So, I'm all for the movement, and I just went on a rant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the rant's supposed to be for labor. That's good. No, right. I appreciate the angle. And like I said before, when we originally started doing the show with me and John, it was two guys, and you talk a lot of sports, and you got a lot of the same opinions on a lot of things. When I went to take the show over and even branch out of my own show, I always wanted a female angle because it's good to have both sides. Because to me, I look, and again, I'm not being mean, but I'm 30 years, you hid that, and all of a sudden this guy's trying to be something. You're like, hey, remember that time? But I get it. Like I said, it bottles up, but I get it. And I'm sure there's fear. I'm sure, it probably happens to people, and the guy probably says, if you say something, I will friggin' knock your teeth in. And right there, okay, I guess I'm never saying anything. Yeah, so.
And people are speaking out now, so it's just a platform. It's, you want it, here it is. Here's the truth. I'm putting my truth out there. If you want to join along, we're supporting you. we're here to support you. We're not here to tear you down or, give you death threats or anything.
I hear you. Liz, it's got to be, and maybe this is something that we start here on the Yo Show. Maybe even have like a big benefit show for it. It's not so much whose life matters, and it's not so much Trump is this and politics is this. We need an ism movement, race-ism, sex-ism. We need a movement to get rid of all the isms because none of them are any good, and none of them lead to any good. There are a lot of people, just be people, and I seen somebody post something today, and it's something I always say, when you talk about a race, I'm a race. I'm the human race. We're the human race. We're all people here. We're all living on the same planet. We're all working jobs to make money. We're all going to the grocery store to eat, and we're getting out on the weekends and venting and having fun with our friends.